I'm definitely face of boxing. Abso-fucking-lutely.
What do you think is the minimum weight of someone that could beat you in a fight?
Minimum weight?
Yeah.
Right.
Someone's like 250.
Yeah, probably like, 250, 220 or some shit like that.
With no experience?
Yes, sir.
Someone with no experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hell no. They gotta have experience to beat me.
No, but like a 300 guy, no experience. You think
Nah, I'm whooping that ass.
Yeah.
I'm whooping that ass for sure.
Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' run and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I've been on the road, I don't care where I go, as long as I get paid. Bad little vibe, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can slay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise. Every other night, another movie get made. Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' run and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I've been on the road, I don't care where I go, as long as I get paid. Bad little vibe, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can slay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise. Every other night, another movie get made. Every other night, another dollar get made. Every other night started with a good day.
Find names from fighters, can you say yes or no?
Yep.
Shakur Stevenson.
Yep.
Ryan Garcia.
Yep.
Devin Haney.
Yep.
Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, but there's two people I already beat already, but yeah.
Errol Spence.
Outside the ring.
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. 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 September. No.
Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
Out of all of those guys, who do you think is the most difficult opponent for you?
Floyd.
What do you think is the minimum weight of someone that could beat you in a fight?
Minimum weight?
Yeah.
Right.
Someone's like 250.
Yeah, probably like, 250, 220 or some shit like that.
With no experience?
Gervonta Tank Davis has been out of the limelight for quite a while now. The 3-division world champion was expected to announce his next fight after being out of the ring for over a year. Instead, fans were treated to a shocker. Tank has broken up with his longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, and is now reportedly training with David Benavidez' dad, Jose Benavidez Sr. The renowned trainer even hinted at linking up with Tank in an Instagram post. It's no secret that Tank has been with the legendary coaching duo of Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis for 20 years. Tank has won 5 world titles across 3 different weight classes under the guidance of Ford. However, with Tank reportedly now training with Jose Benavidez Sr., it looks like Tank wants to take his fighting game to the next level, and under the guidance of Jose Benavidez Sr., we could see a more dangerous and more explosive Gervonta Tank Davis.
Right now, I'm leaning towards Depot to beat Tank. The biggest flaw Tank has is he's not busy enough. He is one of the most busy fighters in pro boxing right now, which is why this news is so important. Jose Benavidez Sr. will be training Gervonta Tank Davis for his upcoming fight in the fall. David Benavidez is one of the busiest fighters in the world. So that can work with David Benavidez, showing him how to initiate combos, how to be first, how to be aggressive. Not just a counter puncher letting you punch yourself out. Now, the Tank, we know Debo may beat him at 147. But this Tank G Money with Jose Benavidez Sr., knowing how to throw more punches and bunches with volume, initiating shots, going after Debo, that Tank has a better shot.
Tank Davis shifting his training camp to Jose Benavidez Sr. marks one of the most drastic structural pivots of his professional career. Leaving the familiar surroundings of Baltimore and his longtime partnership with Calvin Ford, Tank is choosing to step into an environment defined by strict, no-nonsense West Coast discipline. From a stylistic standpoint, blending Davis's elite ring, IQ, and lethal counterpunching precision with the grueling, high-pressure, powerhouse training mentality of the Benavidez camp could engineer an even more terrifying version of the lightweight champion. Benavidez Sr. is renowned for building exhausting work ethics and relentless physical conditioning, which may push Tank's output to new heights. Crucially, the move out to places like Phoenix or Seattle offers absolute isolation, distancing Tank from hometown distractions and courtroom obligations, forcing a singular, locked-in focus on pure boxing craftsmanship as he targets legacy-defining bouts.
They definitely getting their grub on. But more than that, more than all of that, is really the family culture. Once you become a part of that team, you're like family. They even have living rooms and bedrooms and kitchens and restrooms, and you can literally live there if you're coming from somewhere else. I mean, it's a huge ranch. They have places for you to stay and play video games and all that stuff just to stick around, because the family culture is like the biggest part of being there and what makes Team Benavidez unique. But on top of all of that is the work ethic. I'm over there throwing my hands and shit. I mean, I got exhausted quick. And I'm saying, listen, I'm nowhere near fighter shape. But what I'm saying is they're going to teach you form, make you learn it right now, and practice it at a high pace.
Now, to understand why Tank's shift to the Benavidez camp is so significant for his career, you need to look at the wonders it did for Ryan Garcia's career. Like Tank, Garcia struggled before training with David Benavidez. The two trained for Garcia's title clash with Mario Barrios. Garcia had a 3-month training camp with the Benavidez family, and he ended up bagging the WBC welterweight title. Ryan Garcia has since improved as a fighter. He's become more disciplined and focused on his boxing career, and he's now scheduled to fight Conor Benn in his first title defense at welterweight. Tank is probably looking for similar results after rumors of him joining Jose Benavidez Sr. surfaced on social media.
For the first time ever, Ryan Garcia could call himself champion. And I mean, not interim, not secondary, not kinda, but 100% full welterweight WBC champion. And it just so happened to follow training under the tutelage of Jose Benavidez Sr. So for me, you can't help but to expect the same thing out of Gervonta Tank Davis. Having great form, implementing it now, and working at a high speed. Oh, that's definitely Tank. But he doesn't implement that in the ring. According to CopyBox, Gervonta Tank Davis' lack of activity is historic. I mean, he is the lowest volume fighter in the world. And a lot has to do with his timing, his IQ, his precision, and his power. He throws something when he sees something. But it just so happens to make him a low-activity fighter. And against Lamont Roach, I think that has something to do with the trouble Lamont Roach gave him, because Lamont Roach didn't give him much. So Gervonta, he really couldn't find too much to counter. And in that situation, he had to try to punch Lamont Roach open. And that just didn't work well for that fight. But getting coached by the Benavidezes, oh, they definitely know how to punch you open, then counter. I think Gervonta Tank Davis made a very headsy choice to try Jose Benavidez Sr., and it looks like they're excited about welcoming Gervonta.
And if the Tank Davis and Jose Benavidez senior partnership wasn't enough, Tank has also been pursuing a fight with Devin Haney. This news came out of the blue when Tank's burner account on X mocked Devin for his humiliating performance against Ryan Garcia. For years, this has been the ultimate what if in modern boxing. Two undefeated elite level stars constantly circling each other, trading insults, but never trading leather. The boxing community assumed this rivalry was permanently dead after Tank's 16-month hiatus and ongoing out-of-ring legal hurdles. Well, Devin's dad and manager Bill Haney just did an interview recently where he dropped a massive bombshell hinting at a potential matchup with Gervonta Tank Davis. He did have some conditions to make the fight happen though, but he's confident that this fight could happen in the near future.
All cap, listen, and Tim, listen, we want to make you a believer, and we want to do all that we can do to make these big bad fights happen. And I think that that's what Devin has shown. You know, on the list, Tank Davis, he sets at probably the number one. I mean, we've been had back and forth. I think that when you talk about him fighting a Jake Paul, if that was realistic, there's no realistic weight that Jake Paul could have ever come down to Devin's walk-around weight. So I consider this as real. Me and Al have had discussions. That's made it even more real. Never has anyone said anything about any dehydration, rehydration, or anything for that matter. So I think that it should be, and what it should be, is a fair fight. You know, and that weight is to be determined. But it won't be anything under 144 pounds for nobody.
Bill Haney has been pretty vocal about making the big fights involving his son Devin. It's no secret that Devin and his team aren't afraid of the smoke. They're also in talks for a massive fight with Tank's arch rival Shakur Stevenson. It's likely that we could eventually see some big fights involving these three in the coming years.
You want to pick these guys?
Biggest and the best, the biggest and the best fight I think that everyone, the culture and sports and entertainment would love would be Tank. He's at the top of the list.
Yeah,
I think we got even more excited.
That's good.
Well, I mean, just keep breaking my heart, would you please? Breaking my heart, okay?
I don't have anything to happen. I'd love to see it happen.
It's not happening. Can you imagine, guys, for a second, if Tank Davis had the mentality that Devin Haney has when he's such an economic engine, when Devin Haney was hunting Vasily Lomachenko, right, and then wound up beating him, who's then moved up in weight and immediately went to Brian Norman, who's the young puncher in the division, who's now looking for all the smoke with everyone. If Tank Davis had that kind of mentality, boxing would be better off.
Yes, it would.
It would be better off.
Well, I'd have to agree. I'd have to point out that when you have enough you have enough wherewithal and enough to have Al Heyman give me a call, and you know what I mean, that's at the top of the game of conversations to have with Al concerning a fight of this magnitude. Hey guys, you know, of this magnitude. So I take that serious. You know what I mean? And when speaking to Al, you know, I don't think that he's just calling for nothing.
However, before you get too excited about a potential Devin Haney versus Tank Davis fight in 2026, you have to understand the major complications involving this fight. The weight class question is obviously the main obstacle, but both fighters also have to get rid of their mandatory challengers before they begin negotiations for the big fights. Devin has a big fight with Keyshawn Davis, who happens to be the mandatory challenger for his WBO welterweight belt.
When are we going to see Devin Debo Haney inside the ring again? When?
Well, I mean, like I said, this mandatory is coming up, so the bigger fights have an opportunity. Shakur, if you're listening, Jay, if you're listening, you know what I mean, Antonio, if you're listening, what are you waiting on? This is a fight that determines who's the best fighter in boxing. I think if Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney fought, I mean, will they be crowned, the winner be crowned number one on everybody's list, Max?
Yep, I agree. Listen, and here's the other thing. If Devin just fights and beats Keyshawn and then could make a boots fight, Devin will have made the case because those are the two dangerous, explosive, athletic fighters at 47 and 54. And all of a sudden, he would turn the tables on Shakur, and people would be looking at Devin and not Shakur, I think, if he could win both those fights.
Yeah,
Max, you said.
That's right, Max. Give your favorite fighter the toughest assignments. I love you, baby.
You know what? He's right. No,
dangerous fighters.
You're right. You're right, because the whole thing, when you see a really good fighter, what you're really doing as a fan is trying to get that guy beat. Those are the best matchups, right? That's the reason Turki Al-Sheikh immediately tweeted after Moses Satama demoed. I forgot who it was already. He immediately tweeted, just Jermaine Franklin. He tweets Usyk Atama, because it feels like that's the dangerous fight. The reason everyone wants to see Kabayel now, it feels like that's how can I get this guy beat? Yeah. Those are the best fights.
If Dev beats...
Well, at 23 years old,
Lomachenko.
Devin faced Lomachenko at 23 years old.
Sure did.
23 years old. Xander Zayas had the opportunity to face Boots. When you can get over that hump as a young fighter, chasing greatness, a greatness that normal, when you move in a career for a normal fighter, you don't have such adversity at 23.
Listen, Bill Haney is eager to see Devin fight the likes of Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, but judging by his talk, it doesn't look like he'll want Devin to move down below welterweight to fight Tank or Shakur. These fights are only possible if Devin runs out of top-tier opponents at the 147-pound division. Right now, Devin is more likely to fight Ryan Garcia than Tank Davis. Bernie the Boxer pointed out the massive weight difference between Tank and Devin means that this fight is simply impossible to make. Devin has established himself at welterweight, while Tank hasn't moved up from the 135-pound division. If this fight is to happen, Tank Davis will have to move up to welterweight to take on Devin.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna yeah.
That's what Tank said. Well,
yeah.
Like I'm saying, and I think that's fair, or just leave Devin alone. I think that's fair, or just leave Devin alone. Devin not really calling for none of these fights. Devin not really calling saying, I got to fight Tank or I want to fight Shakur and everything. He said he will, but he's not calling for these fights. So I think that he said out loud, I guess, that he would make the 144 mark. And so like I'm saying, I figured this is just my opinion. Either he weighs 147 and can't come no more than 160 in the ring, or he weighed 44 and he come in whatever he want to weigh. That's just what I would say. That's just my opinion about it. That's just my opinion. Either we weigh 147, or I come in whatever I want, or I weigh 144 and he weigh 160. So
yeah,
that's just my. We can't go too. Listen, the whole thing is about making the weight. They're in the weight class. The next day it don't matter. They already did that, unless you with the IBF. And they ain't fighting the IBF. So the IBF, they ain't on there, do whatever you want. You see, that's it. If we gonna do this or we ain't gonna do it. It's either one way or another. He's the welterweight champion. If you want to fight the welterweight champion, then that's it. He has to make 147 pounds and
Finally, Tank has a mandatory challenger to face before he thinks of taking on the big names. The WBA has ordered Tank to fight Floyd Schofield next, with the fight needing to be finalized before this month, or else Tank Davis could lose his lightweight belt. In a recent interview, Floyd Schofield Sr. expressed his frustration regarding the current situation they found themselves in, especially since Tank and his team haven't spoken about any fight yet.
Nigga, I gotta control if Tank want to take the fight. If he gonna dump his belt and run. That's the most ignorant shit. We tried to fight the toughest guy in boxing. 2 of them. So I don't got no time for ignorance. And we still here. We tried to fight them. They ran. We got the reward. What's the problem? So that's all, Mills. That brother just seemed upset. It's going to be a lot of envy in this business when you make it.
Yeah. Dan, thank you for the 2-piece. A champion who never fought. Laughing my ass off. What?
But then that's the ignorance. How he got 19 fights if he didn't fight nobody? How he knocked out Tevin Farmer if he didn't fight nobody? See, so it's ignorance. So that's just the fans. Fans gonna be biased. Some gonna like, some not. Some is Tank fans, some is this fans. And a lot of people been programmed to hate you that come from your color when you make it. So I expect some of the men to be on that little female stuff. How you made it? How you didn't fight nobody? Look at it. Nigga, really? Real men say, yo, word, you did that. Well, I could do that. Well, my guy, you showed me a way through. But, I don't got time for them people that want to misery.
Ronnie Harris, thank you for the 2-piece. Floyd, you've been talking whole lot on the show.
I've been talking since I came into business. Y'all just catching up. I mean, I was telling the truth, haven't I? This ain't nothing new from day fucking one. So y'all acting like I'm gonna be different because y'all emotions. If I was a different person, I wouldn't have made it this far. If I didn't have this type of attitude that I didn't give a fuck what people say, I would have felt when people said we wasn't gonna make it. I would have felt when every promoter told us no before we threw our own shit. So I earned the way that I talk, and I'm gonna keep talking that way.
Gervonta Tank Davis has made some massive MyBecks with him, joining the Benavidez camp and calling out Devin Haney. However, everyone feels that fight talks are going nowhere, and these two will not fight in the ring for now. But what are your thoughts on this fight? Do you think we're going to see Devin Haney fight Tank Davis this year? Who would you prefer Devin to fight next? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.